Welcome to B News, your go-to channel for real royal love stories, exclusive royal insights, and timeless moments that define history. In today's feature, we look back at one of the most iconic royal marriages of the 21st century, a union forged not by tradition, but by love, resilience, and deep mutual respect. This is the incredible 20-year journey of King Frederik and Queen Mary of Denmark, a modern royal couple who have defied expectations and redefined what it means to rule with love. Their story began not in a palace, but in a pub. During the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Mary Donaldson, a marketing executive from Hobart, Tasmania, had no idea that her casual outing with friends at the Slip-In would mark the beginning of a historic love story. When she met Fred, he introduced himself as just another visitor. What she didn't know was that he was Crown Prince Frederik of Denmark, Europe's most eligible royal bachelor. Their connection was instant, magnetic, and authentic. Two people drawn to each other not because of status, but something far deeper. When Frederik returned to Denmark after the Olympics, their connection didn't fade. What followed was a romance built across continents, time zones, and cultural divides. For nearly a year, they kept in touch in secret, through phone calls, handwritten letters, and stolen moments. While modern royals often struggle with media intrusion, Frederik and Mary found ways to protect what mattered most, the sacred intimacy of falling in love without the noise of public expectation. Despite royal traditions and cautious advisors warning him against marrying a non-European commoner, Frederik made a bold decision: he wouldn't let protocol dictate his heart. Mary, meanwhile, showed exceptional grace under pressure. She began learning Danish, studying Danish culture, and preparing herself for a future that no one back home in Australia could have imagined. Every small step she took brought her closer not just to Frederik, but to the Danish people. Their engagement was announced in 2003, setting off a media frenzy across Denmark and Australia. Critics questioned whether Mary could handle royal life. But instead of fighting the scrutiny, she rose above it with elegance. Her public appearances revealed a woman of quiet strength, intellect, and empathy. When she walked down the aisle at Copenhagen Cathedral in 2004, millions watched not just the wedding of a prince, but the rise of a queen. Frederik's voice broke with emotion as he whispered to Mary during the ceremony, "You've made me whole." That moment became one of the most cherished in Danish royal history. It was a declaration not just of love, but of unity, a moment where the traditions of the monarchy made room for a new kind of royal relationship, one built on equality, compassion, and emotional honesty. In the years that followed, Frederik and Mary became more than just a royal couple. They became partners in every sense, advocates for mental health, champions of youth initiatives, and symbols of a modern monarchy that could evolve without losing its identity. Together, they established the Mary Foundation, an organization focused on combating domestic violence, loneliness, and social isolation. Their work was more than symbolic, it was deeply hands-on, and it touched the lives of countless citizens. They also embraced parenthood with humility and grace. In 2005, they welcomed their first child, Prince Christian, followed by Princess Isabella in 2007. And twins Prince Vincent and Princess Josephine in 2011. Rather than shelter their children from the world, Frederik and Mary introduced them to royal duty slowly and respectfully, allowing them to grow up with both privilege and perspective. Over the years, Mary became one of the most beloved royal figures in the world. Her fashion drew headlines, her speeches stirred emotion, and her actions spoke louder than any tabloid ever could. She represented modern elegance, but also quiet rebellion. A woman who had not been born into royalty, but who made it her mission to honor it by being her authentic self. Meanwhile, Frederik evolved into a compassionate, thoughtful leader, one who credited Mary with helping him grow. He often described her as his true north, a guiding force in his life both personally and professionally. Unlike past royal marriages marked by distance or duty, theirs was different. They laughed in public. They held hands at state functions. They were real. As the couple celebrated their 10th anniversary in 2014, tributes poured in from across the globe. But what made their love story truly special wasn't just its longevity, it was its sincerity. From public appearances to private struggles, they showed the world what a supportive, evolving marriage could look like even under the microscope of royalty. When Queen Margrethe II announced her abdication in 2023, it marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. In January 2024, Frederik was crowned King of Denmark, and Mary became Queen Consort. For the Danish people, it was a moment of great pride. For the couple, it was the culmination of a journey that began not with crowns, but with heart. The coronation was a majestic affair, but all eyes were on Frederik and Mary, the way they looked at each other, the subtle gestures, the visible trust between them. It was clear, this was no political pairing. It was a partnership built to last. As Mary stood beside Frederik, now king, she did so not in his shadow, but rightfully at his side. Their 20th anniversary in 2024 was celebrated with public exhibitions, never-before-seen photos, and tributes from friends, royal watchers, and everyday people inspired by their love. Clips of their early interviews resurfaced. Rare moments, like Mary helping Frederik with his tie backstage before an event, went viral again. The world didn't just admire them. It believed in them. Behind palace walls, sources say that the couple still values their morning coffee together, walks with their children, and evenings away from the spotlight. While their public life is filled with formality, their private life is refreshingly ordinary, anchored in shared routines and mutual respect. Over the last 2 decades, Frederik and Mary have become more than just a king and queen. They've become symbols of transformation, of what it looks like when love is patient, when royalty is humble, and when two people choose each other every single day, despite the weight of the world watching. Their love story reminds us that fairy tales aren't about escaping reality. The best ones, like Frederik and Mary's, embrace it. With laughter, with challenges, with real choices and unshakable commitment. In a world hungry for authenticity, theirs is a beacon of hope. As Denmark enters a new royal era, the legacy of King Frederik and Queen Mary is not only political, it is personal. It's written in their glances, their shared projects, their unwavering bond. For 20 years, they've shown that royalty is not just about lineage, but love lived out loud. So, let us leave you with this question: if love required you to change countries, careers, and everything you knew, would you take the leap? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to B News for more real-life royal love stories that inspire.